How's it going today, everybody? Welcome back to Troy's Hobbies. Today we're going to be working on the LOSI LMT, getting it back up into running shape after the long Trigger King Racing Series and the Colorado RC Monster Truck Racing Series. It's been a long season, and now it's time to get this truck back up and running and ready for next season and ready for an upcoming event here in late November. So let's get into the repair and let's get into some other stuff. All right, so we're back here on the bench, and I'm going to kind of go over some of the stuff that we're going to be fixing and replacing with this particular LMT. This is the truck that I run in the Trigger King series and other racing series in the spec class. So we're only allowed to change a few things on the truck, and that's about it. Next year, this truck will be running as Wild Hair on the season, starting at this next race coming up. And we're going to take a look at what we're going to be replacing on it. So first things first, this servo has seen better days. It's just the stock servo. We're just going to be replacing it with another ready to run regular servo because I have one more left in my backlog. So we'll just run one more stock servo and then we'll be upgrading to something else after that. So that's going to the side. We've got a fresh one right here. Right there, as you see, got a brand new one that's going to be going in the truck. Junk servo to the side. The Mad Dog, the truck with the Trio parts on it, is actually going to be getting a little bit of a change up. I've been running a spool in the center diff in it for the last season, and so I'm going to change it back up. I've got this extra Trio center housing that I have yet to use because I was running the spool. And then I've got a fresh rebuild kit for it. Here are the part numbers on it if you guys are interested. I'll let you guys see that up close. That's the diff ring. And then the rebuild kit here is this part number here. Now what you will need if you're going to be doing this is the center input shafts that connect to the center drive shafts of the truck. Those are not included in either one of these bags. So if you're going to be doing this swap, you're going to have to switch them over from one to the other. All right, so we'll set those aside. As you can see, I pulled the whole front housing out of the truck. We're going to be tearing the whole thing down and completely rebuilding it with fresh version 2 housings. So if you guys haven't seen the version 2 LOSI housings, these are slightly reinforced from stock, and they're just they're a direct bolt-on from the stock fittings. So that's the part number for those, if you guys need to see it. So we'll be replacing that. Same on the rear. Again, the version 2 housings with the reinforcement, those are going in. And then since it's had a, these are the same bearings that I got whenever I bought the truck. Or whenever I got the truck brand new. And so these bearings have about 1.5 years of use on them. So we are going to go ahead and go through the whole truck and put in these Fast Eddy bearings. So if you guys need bearings, Fast Eddy has some for the LMT. They come in a little kit like this. It even has the little flange bearings for the diff housings, or for the differentials themselves, I mean. So that's a good deal. I like those bearings. These only fit the ready to run. If you do the Trio upgrade, the Trio bearings are different. So you'll have to find a bearing kit sourced for the Trio truck if you want to change bearings with that particular vehicle. So something to look forward to. This truck will be running nice and fresh. So let's see if there's anything else. I don't believe that's it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and set the time lapse, and I'm going to get into working on this truck. And that'll be pretty much the whole video. And then I will jump in at the end when the truck is finished, and we'll talk about any issues, any kind of weirdness, any kind of problems. So let's get into this and enjoy the little time lapse. All right, you guys, we're gonna fire up the servo, fire up the truck, see if the servo's straightened up, hook up the servo saver, and then it should be good to go on the front end. And then we'll move on to another part of the truck. I'm gonna do the rest of this off camera. So the next thing you'll see is when the truck is finished after we test the servo here. So we're just gonna plug it in real quick. All right, we got 3 beeps. Pick up the truck here. Yep, servo's working perfect. All right, you guys, we'll be back after the build is complete, and we'll be back with a little surprise as well. All right, everybody, welcome back to the rebuild of the LOSI LMT Wild Hair rebuild. This is my LOSI LMT Spec Class race truck. We're going to go over a couple of things of the rebuild and a couple of things I want to highlight before we transition to anything else. First thing I want to talk about is the condition of all the bearings and the diffs and all the fluids and everything in the truck after a year and a half. Everything was still in really good working order. The only thing I had to replace were the wheel bearings and the pinion gear output bearings. I just changed those to some fast eddy seal bearings. All the flange bearings were in perfect order. So I just re-greased the diffs and it was good to go. It was really minimal replacement needed. Just a couple of loose screws and a couple of other little things. But other than that, not a big deal. There is one major downfall to this truck that I want to talk about, and that, besides the diff housings, everybody knows about the diff housing situation. If you get the version 2 diff housings and some braces, you shouldn't have a problem. But this is another thing I want to highlight, and that is the screws that go into the hubs of this truck, for the back hubs and also for the front and the caster blocks. Those are a 1.5 millimeter hex, and that's way too small. That's the size of a grub screw head. And I had a couple of those strip out on this truck on the way out. So I had to replace those, and it was kind of a pain to fix those. So LOSI, if you're watching this, or Horizon, or whomever, please, if you update the truck, please bump that up to a 2 millimeter hex or something a little bit beefier. That way we don't run the risk of stripping out hexes in the hub. Like, that's a really big deal. And we shouldn't have to deal with that. It's kind of silly. Other than that, you guys, the next time you guys will be able to see me, if you guys want to come catch me and hang out, I will be in Southern Illinois, in Champaign, Illinois, for the Hall Brothers Monster Truck Racing Open House. It's November 20th, again in Champaign, Illinois. Look on details on Facebook. For information, look up Daniel Chichagash. He runs the Crush This podcast on YouTube and everything else. He's the guy to talk to about the information on this. So that's where you guys can come see me. If you guys are in the area and you want to come meet me and hang out, that's where I'll be. Other than that, that should be about the end of the video, you guys. I just have one other surprise for you all. It's sitting right over there. And I'll be right back. All right, you guys, we're back here with the big surprise. I got another LOSI LMT roller. This truck is eventually going to be my second Pro Mod that I'll be using on the Trigger King circuit. It'll be getting a different set of wheels and tires and a couple of other things that will make it a little more race ready in the future. But for the time being, I'm going to set it up more as a budget-friendly truck with some stuff that I have laying around for the time being. Just so I can drive it around freely, or somebody else can drive it around if they wish to. So the first thing we're going to take a look at is the motor that's going into it, which is the, right here. Get it to focus. There we go. It's a 3670 2500 kV motor out of a JLB Racing Cheetah. Really simple motor, 3S Can run up to 4S, but I'm going to be keeping it on 3S. It's going to be running a 12-tooth pinion on it. I'm going to be gearing this way, way down. So it's not going to be the fastest truck in the world. Speed controller. Pretty simple. Hobby wing, 120 amp. Good 2 to 4S speed controller. That's what's going in. Radio receiver. We have this Dumbo RC 6-channel. 4-channel controller with a 6-channel receiver. So there'll be lots of functionality for this truck. You can run lights, you can run whatever you want, rear steer down the line. If I wanted to do something like that, you can do it all with this controller. And lastly, we'll be running this EcoBoost servo here. Good speed, good power. I've used these before. I've had pretty good results. So that's what's going to be going into the this roller right here. So we're going to get it all built up, and then I will show you guys when it's all finished up. All right, everybody, I hope you all liked that little reveal clip with the little slow motion there. Here's a look at the Gravedigger roller. This is just a LOSI LMT roller with the ready-to-run Gravedigger body on it, with a little flag that we have had run custom-made on it. As you can see, this body has had some damage and whatnot. This is just the regular ready-to-run body. But this is the body that I'm going to be running temporarily. Same with the wheels and tires. Like I said earlier, this will end up being my second Pro Mod truck. So it's going to get some different wheels and tires, and eventually it'll have a custom body on it, which I'm not going to spoil the surprise on that, but I have a pretty cool plan for that. So let's just pop the hood up real quick, and I'll let you guys take a look at what I did underneath. All right, here's a good look at underneath the truck. As you can see, I have that the JX EcoBoost servo here. Just a simple Kimbrough servo saver on for the time being, until I can get a new Trio servo saver ordered. So those will just be on there temporarily for the time being. These are version 1 axle housings. So I will have to get some axle braces for these axle housings before I run it too hard so I don't break anything. There's a look at the speed controller. I have it taped down with the double-sided sticky tape. Then I also have it anchored with a zip tie just in case it comes loose. The receiver is in the box there. I have everything running through. I even have the lights hooked up through channel 4 on my controller. Sorry about the tire prop there. That's just how I hold the body up. Other than that, we'll just take a look at the motor. As you can see, it's a 3670 can. There's that side of the motor. When we get around here to this side, and there you can see it's the JLB Cheetah motor that's inside the truck there. And that's a look at the Gravedigger for now. Guys, here's your first look at the 2022 Trigger King and Colorado RC Monster Truck Challenge Troy's Hobbies Monster Truck lineup right there. So that Gravedigger will be Pro Mod number 2. Down the line, it will get some new tires and wheels, and it will get a new body, and will be something special that'll be coming on the channel very soon. Pro Mod number 1 will be Mad Dog here. This is the truck that's outfitted with all the Trio goodies, all the axles and all the braces and everything else. And then we have our LMT Spec class, the Wild Hair, with the Proline Demolisher tires. And this thing is sick. You guys, this is the 2022 lineup right here. So as always, you guys, thanks for sticking with me through this kind of a longer video. As always, give this video a thumbs up. Share it if you guys can. And thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Later.